Hi, I'm James the Light Guy, and today we're going to do a detailed review of these 9006 HB4 LED replacement bulbs from Pulilang. Inside the box, we don't get any user manual or tools, but we do get a pair of these LED replacement bulbs. Starting at the base of the bulb, we have clearly identified positive and negative contacts in a fairly sturdy 9006 bulb type connector. The LED driver module and CAN bus are protected by a stamped sheet metal case. And then there is the length of wire between the driver module and the assembly. This is just a soft plastic sheeting or sheathing with virtually no strain relief at all. I would like to see something better, either a actual silicone sheath or a braided nylon protector. Moving down to the bulb itself, we have a very narrow extruded aluminum heatsink, which is great for certain bulb types that don't give you a lot of space left to right around the socket, but do offer depth. Although depth-wise, this is fairly tall, so if you have a narrow or shallow area behind your headlamp assembly, this may not fit your vehicle. We also have a fairly large cooling fan in the back, which should produce quite a lot of airflow. There is no guard or protector against the fan here, so having this sticking out as far as it does, I'd be sure that there's nothing up against it preventing that fan from spinning once it's installed. The 9006 base plate adapter is threaded on to the headlight bulb. It is made out of machined aluminum and has been anodized with the rest of the bulb. Keying in the housing is not important since the chips go all the way around. But before we get there, the main body of the headlight bulb is again just machined extruded aluminum, and the center core is a copper vapor tube. At least that's what the media leads me to believe. It may just be a solid copper core. Let's zoom in on the bulb chipset. It's hard to tell, but we actually have 6 sides of chips, and there are 12 chips per side. These aren't the CSP chips that we've seen in previous videos, but they are quite bright. So what we're going to do is hook it up to our power supply and take a look. We have our power supply at about 14.4 volts and 1.75 amps, which makes this bulb running or drawing approximately 25 watts. Brain failed on me for a second there. And you can hear that cooling fan is pretty loud. I don't believe it would be loud enough to hear with the engine running, but with the vehicle off and just the headlights on, you may be able to hear it, especially if it's resonating in the housing. Ow, touch the fan. Make sure that there's no shroud, so don't want anything touching that fan, stopping it from cooling the bulb. And as you can see, as I bring this around, there are no dark spots on that at all. This will make a perfect beam pattern in most housings, whether reflector or projector. In any case, that's all I have for today's video. Unfortunately, I don't have a housing handy to show you the beam patterns and measure the brightness. Actually, I take it back. It's not all I have. Let's grab my light measuring box and just get a feel for it without a housing. I'll be right back. There we go, got our light measuring box out. We're using the ×10 function on the meter as always. And it looks like we're getting 666. And I would say that's a pretty good average, considering we don't have any range of light. That even spread is really decent. I will note that this driver module is getting very, very warm. Oh, touch the fan again. Not having a shroud is another drawback. One moment. All right, conclusion time. Would I recommend these bulbs? Yes, with a caveat. These bulbs are, at the time of my purchase, $40 on Amazon. I'll put a link to the listing in the description below if you'd like to get them for yourself. The narrow diameter of the heatsink makes them fantastic for bulb types besides 9006. For example, a 9006 XS, which doesn't give you space for a connector or large heatsink in the housing area. This would be ideal for. However, knowing how warm this control driver module gets, I have my concerns for just leaving it dangling in an engine bay and would want some way of heat sinking it to extend the longevity of the bulb itself. If it were in open air, for example, if perhaps in a fog light assembly and you had a lot of airflow under the bumper cover, then this would also be quite ideal. In any case, that is actually all I have for today's video. If you enjoyed it, give me that thumbs up. Share the video with your friends and family if they're interested in headlight bulb upgrades, and consider subscribing to my channel if you haven't done so already. If you really enjoyed today's video, consider becoming a channel supporter on our Patreon page. Until next time, I'm James the Light Guy.